the many imperfections in our actions. Our bodies have become black from the smoke. We didn't become black here, but the smoke. There's a funny pastime. Prabhupada was in, this is in London, and this was apparently when the moon, the whole moon thing, landing on the moon. I think it was 69. And they were watching on TV. Prabhupada was watching on TV with one devotee, Purushottama. And Purushottama was so excited. And Prabhupada was just saying, it's a farce. He knew right from the beginning, it's just a joke. Yeah. No, Prabhupada, look, they're laying on the moon. Laying on the moon. And Malati, she was downstairs, she was cooking. And she came up to speak to Prabhupada or something. Then she smelled smoke. She went down, and there was like a fire or something, some ghee, and she came back up, and her clothes was all black. Her face was black. It's got all the smoke. And Prabhupada said, "Look, Malati, she's gone to the moon." Everybody cracked up. But Prabhupada, right from the beginning, this is just a setup, man. They didn't go to the moon. And Purushottama, he was actually pretty upset because he was convinced they went to the moon. Prabhupada said that they didn't go to the moon. He lost faith. He left after that. Yeah, he left. Prabhupada gave him. He went back to America, but then he left. He had faith in the rascals, but not Prabhupada. Our bodies have become black from the smoke, but we are factually pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, Govinda, which you are describing. Purple. The sacrificial fire kindled by the sages of Namasranya was certainly full of smoke and doubts because of so many flaws. The first flaw is that there is an acute scarcity of expert brahmanas able to carry out such performances successfully in the age of Kali. Any discrepancy in such sacrifices spoils the whole show, and the result is uncertain, like agricultural enterprises. The good result of tilling the paddy field depends on providential rain, and therefore the result is uncertain. Similarly, performance of any kind of sacrifice in this age of Kali is also uncertain. Unscrupulous, greedy brahmanas of the age of Kali induce the innocent public to such uncertain sacrificial shows without disclosing the scriptural injunction that in the age of Kali there is no fruitful sacrificial performance but the sacrifice of the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Suta Goswami was narrating the transcendental activities of the Lord before the congregation of sages, and they were factually perceiving the result of hearing these transcendental activities. One can feel this practically, as one can feel the result of eating food. Spiritual realization acts in that way. The sages of Namasranya were practically sufferers from the smoke of a sacrificial fire and were doubtful about the result. But by hearing from a realized person like Suta Goswami, they were fully satisfied. In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Vishnu tells Shiva that in the age of Kali, men full of anxieties of various kinds can vainly labor in fruitive activity and philosophical speculations, but when they are engaged in devotional service, the result is sure and certain, and there is no loss of energy. In other words, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit can be successful without the devotional service of the Lord. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Bhagwan Gotavatam Om Nanvate Yat Kripa Taraham Bande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Vanchakapatubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So here we're hearing that in the age of Kali, sacrifices are uncertain. Actually, even the result of chanting Hare Krishna is uncertain because it depends on what? On our consciousness, right? Because we have these 10 offenses. If we're committing the 10 offenses, then we don't get the result that we're aspiring for. Prabhupada said that because we commit these 10 offenses, we don't have love for Krishna. So that's why we chant them. Of course, we chant them. We don't really, because we do it every day. Kind of loses the effect, because but Prabhupada wanted that. So we should, when we're chanting these 10 offenses, we should be aware that this is the problem. This is the problem. So, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's stated, Nayam Atma Pravichalena Nameya Napuhunaya Sutena, that the activity of performing sacrifices and having so much knowledge of the Vedas and cannot give one the ability to get the mercy of Krishna. So this verse goes on to say that only those persons whom Krishna chooses receives his mercy. So who does he choose? That's the big question. Who does Krishna choose?
Whoever Radharani recommends.
Whoever Radharani chooses. Yeah, that's the Prabhupada said. Radhastami is coming around the corner. So Krishna says, Tesam sarat yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami bhuri yoga yenamam. To those who are constantly devoted to me and worship me in love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So Krishna is looking for love. And it's not easy for that love to come out. A lot of lust is there, but unfortunately, it's hard to get that love out. But by the mercy of Krishna, by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, it's possible. And it's amazing who Krishna gives his mercy. You never know. Just like when Lord Chaitanya was going through Jharikanda with Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he was going through the forest and it was like Vrindavan. And the tigers and the elephants, they would see him and they'd get out of his way. He would go forward. And one time he was going through the path and there was a tiger on the path. And Lord Chaitanya touched the tiger with his foot. He got the mercy. And Balabhadra was like, he became very scared. This Bengali tigers are like the biggest tigers. just on the side, there was a competition between a big grizzly and a Bengal tiger, and they were in cages for a day, checking each other out. And then they opened the gates, and they lunged at each other. And the grizzly, he's got this paw, like he slapped the tiger in the head. Finished. Don't mess with a grizzly. But the tigers are pretty big too. But so there's big grizzlies there. I mean, not a grizzly, but there's tigers there on the path, and Lord Chaitanya touches it with his foot, and both bunches like. So then Lord Chaitanya said, "Chant Hare Krishna." And what did the tiger do? Started dancing and chanting Hare Krishna. I don't know what it sounded like. A growl, chanting Hare Krishna. And then he went on, and he was in Lord Chaitanya. There was one lake there. He was chanting Gayatri, and elephants came, and Lord Chaitanya splashed the elephants. He said, "Chant Hare Krishna," and the elephants started chanting Hare Krishna. And it's described that one of the elephants went into complete ecstasy. He fell over in ecstasy. They were dancing, and generally the deer and the tigers, the deer are like quite afraid of. That's meal, right? That's the lunch or dinner for the tiger. So there's so much fear, but because Lord Chaitanya was given mercy, the deer and the tiger were kissing. It's like, got the mercy. So you never know who Lord Chaitanya, who the Lord is going to give mercy to, right? And what did they do to get that mercy? So he chooses. He's Svarat. What does Svarat mean?
Fully independent.
Fully independent. He's fully independent. So yeah, and interesting, and this amazing pastime of Amoga. I mean, generally the Lord is attracted to those who have love for him. But here are these animals, where's the love? He just gave mercy. And Amoga also, he's so envious. Sarvamacharya was serving prasadam to Lord Chaitanya, and he was his wife was actually, and this Amoga, he had such a bad reputation that Sarvamacharya was at the door with a stick to beat him. I mean, I don't know what he did in the past to have such a bad reputation. His father-in-law, with a stick to beat him if he comes. So then his wife needed some help, so he started helping out. He became inattentive in his guard duty. And then Amoga peeked his head and said, "What is it? What kind of a sannyasi?" He said, "That's enough for 10 men, As soon as Sarvamacharya heard that, he looked at him like, just like, if vision could have killed him, that would have been it. Amoga would have been finished. So he saw that and took running. And Sarvamacharya got his stick and he's chasing him. So then he came back and he's so hurt. He's lamenting so much. And his wife said, may my daughter become a widow. Yeah, she wanted him dead. Pretty heavy. I mean, the Lord, the Supreme Personality of God comes to your home and gets offended by this rascal. So then Lord Chaitanya said, no, it's not a big deal. He's right. I shouldn't be eating so much. So, don't take it so seriously. But they were hurt. That was just like devastating for them. So then Lord Chaitanya, he went. And the next day, Gopinath Acharya, who was the brother-in-law of Sarvamacharya, he went to Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya said, so how is Sarvamacharya? How is he doing? Well, he's fasting. He's still fasting. And his wife also. So Lord Chaitanya said, why is this? Why are they so taking this so serious? Not a big deal. He says, and Amoga, how's Amoga doing? He's dying.
No.
Cholera. So Lord Chaitanya said, take me to him. And it's described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that he went very quickly to Amoga. And he went and immediately saw Amoga. He's on his deathbed. Lord Chaitanya puts his big hand on his head. Amoga, you're born into a very nice, righteous Brahmin family. Why have you allowed this envy to sit in your heart, making it not a nice place for the Lord to sit? But because you're the son-in-law of Sarvamacharya, I bless you that you chant the holy names of Krishna and you become purified. And he took his hand off, and immediately Amoga jumped out of his bed, his deathbed, and he started chanting Hare Krishna. I mean, really sincerely. And he paid obeisances to Lord Chaitanya. Please forgive me, my Lord. This mouth has offended you. And then when he got up, he started slapping his face so hard. So hard that it was getting swollen. And Gopinath Acharya, he had to stop him. He had to stop him. And he was in ecstasy. He got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. His hairs are standing on end. His body was quivering, tears coming, chanting Hare Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya just smiled. He got the mercy. But here's someone who was so envious. So envious. So why did he get the mercy? He was related to a great devotee. So if we please great devotees, if we're even related, I mean, he didn't even please Sarvamacharya. Not only did he not please him, he got him so angry, him and his wife. But just to be related, it's amazing. He gave mercy. So here in the end of the purport, Prabhupada mentions this. In other words, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit can be successful without devotional service of the Lord. No, what's the sentence just before that? In the Brahma Vivarta Purana, Vishnu tells Shiva that in the age of Kali, men full of anxieties of various kinds can vainly labor in fruitive activity and philosophical speculations. But when they are engaged in devotional service, the result is sure and certain, and there is no loss. Oh, actually, this is what I was looking for. One can feel this practically as one can feel the result of eating food. Spiritual realization acts in that way. Therefore, there's a statement by one of the Kavi, Yogendra, one of the Yogendras. Bhakti parasana bhava varakta nitya ekakala prapadyamana sina tastastu tusti pusti shuddhagayana nagasha. That three things simultaneously happen when we engage in devotional service of the Lord. One is we attain love for Krishna. Bhakti, this is the goal. There's no higher goal than to attain love for Krishna. If we could attain that, then we're the wealthiest, most fortunate persons on the planet. There's no higher goal than to attain bhakti. And that's why we're doing everything that we're doing, all the austerities that we're doing, so that we can somehow get this mercy. And what's interesting, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sajja Kavana, it's here. It's right here. It's just a little covered. So we're trying to uncover. We're trying to uncover it. And that comes by trying, as Prabhupada said, with sincerity. Seriousness and sincerity that Krishna he gives. As Prabhupada said, for every step we take towards Krishna, he's taken how many towards us?
10 steps.
10 steps. So every day we're taking these steps towards Krishna, and he's taking steps towards us. So bhakti prasanamai, we get direct experience of Krishna. It's like Prabhupada was on a morning walk, and Prabhupada asked the devotees, so how do we know what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita is true? And because you said, Prabhupada, I could say anything. Because Krishna says it. Oh, this is another religious belief. And the devotee said, Prabhupada, because we're experiencing the result. I said, yes, because you're experiencing the result. If one reads the Bhagavad Gita and lives the teachings, you experience the result. And then as one experiences the result, then you become detached. Once you get a higher taste, then you become detached. In Lord Chaitanya, he came to teach Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Siksartameka Purushapara. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Surirari Kripambudhir Yastamaha. The Lord Chaitanya is an ocean of mercy, and he's come to bring love for Krishna, detachment. So this detachment is very important. And this comes as we advance in Krishna consciousness, we become more and more detached. But we have to be careful. There's danger even on the royal roads. So, and then this verse goes on to say, the example is given just like when you're eating, you experience pleasure, which we'll experience soon. Yeah. You already cooked up some nice prasadam. Generally, prasadam here is pretty nice. You experience pleasure. You get nourishment, healthy. We have nice, healthy prasadam, right? Nice, healthy prasadam. And eventually, satisfied. Had enough. Like sometimes you go to the Indian programs and they like to feed you a lot, you know. So you put, even sometimes you, no, it's okay. And then they still want to give, no, it's okay. And then you got to look at it because they'll put it right on your hand. They like to feed you. So eventually become detached from this material world and attached to Krishna. Krishna, he says in the Bhagavatam, Yan ladva chaparam munyate narikam, that having experienced the happiness of Krishna consciousness, one never departs from the truth. And upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. And although engaged in all different types of activities, he is never shaken by any reversal. So when we're following a particular system and we're happy with that, then we can understand this is the truth. We're getting the result. Right? Devotees are pretty happy here, yeah? So this is the result. Chant and be happy. If we do this activity with sincerity, then we'll get the result. And then in our shastras it's stated, Krishna bhakti rasabhavintamati kriyatam yadi katopila trataloyam abhimuyam janma koti supratirna labhyate. That Krishna, he cannot be attained by Krishna bhakti rasabhavi kriyatam yadi trataloyam. He cannot be attained, Krishna bhakti rasabhavi kriyatam yadi trataloyam abhimuyam, by performing pious activities for many millions of lives. but he can be attained by only paying one price, and that is loya, loya. Intense desire, it's even said greed. So this greed is something that can also be there in devotional service. Just like there are some devotees that wanted to get the mercy of Krishna, or actually there's one devotee who wanted to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Kalidas, you know Kalidas? He was such an amazing devotee. He just wanted to get the remnants of the devotees. So he would go and he would bring prasadam and then ask for the remnant, and if they wouldn't give it, he would just wait until they threw it out the window, and then he would go get the remnants. He was really greedy to get the mercy. And there was one person named Jadu Thakur who was from a low caste, but he was a great devotee. And Kalidas, he was actually from a high family, Brahmin high family. So he went and he visited Jadu Thakur, and he left some prasadam and asked if we could have the remnants. And he said, "But you're from a high class. I'm low. I'm low. You should not take my remnants." And he just said, what is it? Hobagi. What's that verse by, I think it's I can't remember. That even though, Devahuti, Kali Yuga memory. Even though I know a verse very well, Krishna takes it away. Yet Jiva Grivartani Namatu, Te Pustupache Juhusasana, Brahmanarti Nami, Gunanta Yete. Even though one may be born into a very low family, but if he's chanting the holy names of Krishna, then you must have had all the good qualities of the Brahmanas, bathed in the holy rivers, in order to be now chanting the names of Krishna. So Jadu Thakur appreciated that, but he said, "No, I can't take my numbers." So then he was leaving. So the standard is that when a guest is leaving, the host, they walk with them for some distance and then they come back. So he did that. They're walking, and then Jadu Thakur, he was coming back. So what did Kalidas do? He's following him. He lets him get something, and he's taking the dust. Every foot, he's taking it. And then he waits a while. He goes, and they're honoring. He brought mangoes, so they're honoring the mango, and he's waiting and waiting. He's patient. He's patiently waiting to get the mercy. And they throw the mango out the window, and he goes and he's taking his wife and himself. He's taking this mercy. So he was very greedy for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya, he knew this. So when Lord Chaitanya would go to the Jagannath temple, he would wash his feet, but nobody was allowed to get the water. But when he saw Kalidas, he allowed Kalidas. 3 times he got a cup of water from Lord Chaitanya 3 times. And then Lord Chaitanya said, "Okay, that's enough." And then he went home to take prasad, Lord Chaitanya, and he saw Kalidas there, and he told I think Govind, give him the remnants. So Lord Chaitanya knew this is a great devotee that loved to get the mercy of the devotees. So he got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya too. And also in Prabhupada's pastimes, there was an interesting Prabhupada pastime. There was a devotee this is in Los Angeles, so he came up with an idea that he saw Prabhupada's shoes, and he went to the store and he got the exact shoe. Yeah. And Prabhupada, he would go on morning walk. So this devotee, he took Prabhupada's shoes once he walks in usually, and he put the new shoes there. So Prabhupada put them on. He went on his morning walk, came back. So the devotee took those new shoes he had just bought, and he put Prabhupada's other shoes back. And then he told the devotee, "This is what I did. So now I have a pair of shoes that Prabhupada wore that are my own." So he got the mercy. So the devotee that he told that to, "I'm going to do the same thing." "Where did you get those shoes?" So when he bought the shoes, so Prabhupada, he took Prabhupada's shoes, and then he put the new shoes there. Prabhupada left. He came back, but he didn't take his shoes off. He went right upstairs with the new shoes. And the devotee's thinking, "Oh no, what happened?" So then Prabhupada told his servant and called this devotee. So this devotee went up, and Prabhupada said, "Thank you for the new shoes, but you should not play tricks with your spiritual master." So now Prabhupada figured it out, yeah. But anyway, he still got Prabhupada's shoes because he took the ones that Prabhupada was wearing. So he still got the rest. But he was amazed Prabhupada figured it out, yeah. Do not play tricks with the spiritual master. Another amazing one is Indraduna Swami. When Prabhupada went to France, the temple president said, "Whoever is the biggest on book distribution gets to wash through the Prabhupada's feet when Prabhupada arrives." So Indraduna Swami, he said, "I'm going to get that mercy." He was greedy for the mercy. And he was a good book distributor. Although he was in France, and I don't know if he spoke French even, but probably learned something. Anyway, he won. And he got to bathe Prabhupada's feet. He got the mercy. And then after he bathed Prabhupada's feet, he went upstairs with the bucket of water. And he called one friend of his. "Come on up." So they went up in the room, and they're guzzling this water. And devotees saw him go upstairs, and they're knocking on the door. "Haribo!" And then Indraduna Swami said to his friend, "Do you hear anything?" "I don't hear anything." And they're just guzzling a big pot of water. And then Indraduna Swami said, "This is probably why I'm still fixed up in Krishna consciousness, because I drank that bucket." So he got the mercy. So, any question or comment or reflection? Yes.
So I like the story of Amogha, how he got the mercy even though he offended devotee of Krishna. So
He offended Lord Chaitanya,
also,
and probably offended so many people because he had that reputation. He must have been like super duper offensive.
so Prabhu, we hear of this quality of favoritism, that the leader should not play favorites, especially in his own family or his own kinsmen. So we call it nepotism. So isn't Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing nepotism here?
Transcendental nepotism?
How do we understand this?
Well, there's actual love there. In family relations, it's just bodily thing. But yeah, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he had such affection, real love for Lord Chaitanya. And devotees that have genuine love for even it's said that he who says that he is my devotee, he's not my devotee. But he who says that he is the devotee of my devotee, he's my devotee. So yeah, you can't go directly to Krishna, but through a devotee. And so it's not nepotism. It's gratitude. It's pure gratitude. Krishna has pure gratitude for his devotee. And if we please the devotee, then Yasya prasada bhagavat prasada Yasya prasada nagati patopi. That by pleasing the spiritual master, then we please Krishna. Pleasing the devotees. So this is this nepotism, material nepotism. This is perverted reflection of pure nepotism, pure favoritism. It's all nepotism. It's all in the bodily conception of life. Because he's my brother, she's my sister, this is my mother. Let me give them some favor. But it's all in the bodily conception of life. But the pure devotees, they're on the spiritual platform. Krishna's on the spiritual platform. If we please Krishna with pure devotion, then Krishna, actually it's even said that, what it is, you hear different numbers, 12 generations or 20 generations. You got to find out the exact number. Anyway, there's a big number of generations that are delivered if someone becomes a pure devotee. Krishna appreciates. It's amazing. I mean, that's amazing. You get complete nonsense, number one. But if you're in that family, up to a certain generation, you get some type of liberation. I don't know if you go back to Gandhi, but there's some liberation there. Interesting. Krishna's very kind. See, he's an ocean of mercy. Even someone has no devotional qualities, if they please a devotee, Krishna's eyebrows go up. Oh, so yeah, interesting. Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.